Good afternoon, YouTube. Let's see. Turn that noisy bitch off. That's Wednesday, August 21st, 2013. And been trying to repair R&R the AC and the Suburban. Just give you a little background. I bought this Suburban in January, and the guy I bought it from up in Utah told me that he replaced the air conditioning compressor. I didn't have any reason to doubt him. I opened up the hood. That was the newest looking thing under the hood, and for all intents and purposes, the AC worked. And then I guess it was probably, oh geez, I don't know, first part of June, probably, right when it started getting hot. I was out roaming, roaming around, exploring the town here. We've only lived here for 8 months now, so out exploring and seeing what we could see, and had the babies with me, all three of them, and I pulled over to use Nature's facilities, and it sounded like that the air conditioning compressor was compressing gravel. So I just turned it off and stopped using it, and got it home and started checking into it, and it turned out the bearing for the clutch had let go. So rather than just continuing to run it, I went into the trailer and started foraging through the plethora of automotive parts that I have accumulated over the last 20 years or so, and I found four compressors, and some of them have V-belt pulleys on them, and some of them had CERT pulleys on them. So for the last week, I've been swapping pulleys, and let me show you what I'm talking about here. All right, let's go up to the 85 and see what we got here. That's the compressor that I'm talking about. These things are freaking junk. I hate them. I wish they would just F off and die. I hate them. They suck. They probably worked okay when there was an abundance of R12 refrigerant, but R12 is getting harder and harder to find. If you can find it, you're going to pay out the ass to get it. So a lot of people, including myself, are doing these conversions, 134A conversions. Now, the problem is these don't really work that well with 134A, but they do work. I know they work because the one in the Suburban worked fine until the bearing. There's a bearing. If you're not familiar, if you're familiar with how these operate, I'm singing to the choir. But if you're not, you have a pulley here, and this is the, I guess you would call this the flywheel, or the clutch part of the compressor clutch. This freewheels. This pulley will freewheel on a bearing that rides on the case of this, and then when you turn on your air conditioning inside the car, there's a little connector here, and there's a lot of other things that go on here with pressures and different relays and switches that got to complete the circuit. But essentially, when you turn on your air conditioning in the car, a signal is sent to this connector, and it energizes a ceramic magnet underneath this pulley, and it pulls this little dealio into the pulley, and it engages it, and then it starts turning the pistons inside of here, and then that okay. So this is the 85. I had a slow leak in here for the longest time, and I just never recharged it. So this has been going 2 years with no AC. Converted this to 134A and did a charge, and it leaked out. So I'll come back to this. But I did take this compressor, I pulled this whole thing off, the whole pulley and everything off, and swapped it out with a serpentine belt pulley and put it on the 90, because the Suburban is a serpentine belt, and it's also on the other side. You know, if you've been watching my videos, you already know that. So yeah, so this is the compressor that fucking such said he replaced up in Utah. And you know, I took this off, the pulley and the whole clutch assembly, including the magnet, because when the bearing let go, it got hot, and it just, you see how that works, and click, you'll hear it, it goes click, engages against that. And anyway, okay, so I replaced that with, essentially put a new bearing and everything in it, and yeah, and whenever you turn on the air conditioning, it still sounds like it's pumping gravel. Well, it turns out, I thought, well, maybe the compressor's bad, so I took the one out of the 85 and swapped out the pulleys and put that in here. Still sounded like it was pumping gravel. Turns out that little, you see how the belt's riding on that? Freaking bearings going in the idler pulley. Poop. So anyway, so I just recharged this today, and thing was, it was 100 degrees outside when I got it done, and I got an infrared thermometer, and it was pumping out air that was 60 degrees. That's good enough. And I came out here and thought, well, I got everything out here, I might as well charge the AC up on that. So I went ahead and hooked everything up, and as I'm walking over here to get the air line for my vacuum, I got a little Venturi type vacuum pump, I hear psst, and the front seal let go out of this thing. Poop. So I just went in and I priced these things, and they're like anywhere from 150 to 180 reman. I hate these things. They suck. Went on and I'm doing a little research, and I found a guy that did a Zexel or a Sandin type conversion, which is actually made for our 134A, and it's a more efficient pump. It doesn't take nearly the power, because these things are horsepower sucking pigs, man. When I had one of these on, let me show you this one. This is the last R4 I have. Alright. This POS came out of my 93 1-ton that I sold 2 years ago. They had a 6.5 turbo diesel, and you thought you freaking deployed a parachute every time this compressor kicked on. I mean, it literally, you felt the thing come on. This thing probably takes 20 horsepower to turn. I hate these things. They suck. So I have this style. This is a Delphi, and this was on my 89 1-ton. That's the old, same body style as a Suburban. Had 89 1-ton with a 6.2 naturally aspirated, and this is the AC compressor that was on that. I never had the AC working in that one. Of course, I lived in Michigan and didn't need AC. 460 AC. Yeah, 4 windows, roll them down, go 60 miles an hour. You got AC. But I just took the pulley assembly, with the bearing and everything off, because the one that was on the 93 looked like it got pretty hot, and it's all, it's all nasty looking, and it's not flat. It's got grooves cut in it. So I'm so sick and tired of these AC compressors, man. Oh. This sucks, man, because that AC was working like a mother in that Suburban. It was just pumping out cold air. It's like, I don't even need rear air, man. This thing's like blowing ice freaking cold. I'm going to freeze my kids out. And I turn around and start pissing oil and stuff out the front seal. That dang thing. And it's not like it's a cheap reman. It's you know, Four Seasons. They're a pretty popular remanufacturing company. It's these. If you need AC and you got one of these old style trucks, convert it. I'm going to do a video series. I'm going to convert this thing using a sand and air conditioning compressor, and I'm going to do a video series because I'm going to gather up all these R4s I got laying around and I'm sending them to the smelter. F them, man. I hate these things. They suck. Oh, did I mention I hate these compressors? They suck. I tried making an air compressor. Actually, I didn't. I was going to, but I didn't. I tested it and it didn't work. It pumped up to about 15 psi and it wouldn't go any further. Turning one of these into an air compressor, I knew it wouldn't work because they suck. But I'm not the only one that's tried it. They suck. So I'm back to no AC. The kids' nap is over. I need to go get them up. I'm going to try one more time with that compressor. Oh, and here's the difference between those two. The ones that are on the 85 and the 90 where the manifold, you know, this is your intake and this is your low side and high side, and there's a big aluminum block that bolts onto this. While on the other two, on the 85 and the 90, there's an O-ring that's cut into this, and there's no other seal. There's just an O-ring here and an O-ring here that's cut into the body of the thing. Well, in later models, they use these little gasketed washers, and you get into later models, they got different sizes. They got like a real thick one for the high side and a thin one for the low side. Well, there's a ridge here. You can see. There's a ridge here, and the ridge is taller than these gaskets. So I take a file and a grinder, and I ground all this down so that, you know, I can use this thing. It doesn't matter because if it doesn't work, I'm going to smash it with a sledgehammer and throw it on the scrap pile. So that's what I've been working on for the last 2 freaking days. I'd rather be working on some other stuff, like getting that air compressor. That I mounted the air compressor in the back of the Suburban. I'm not going to show you right now because I'm just too pissed off to. And it's hotter than hell out there. And I need to shave. Good God almighty. But I've been dinking around with this air conditioning and I'm not happy. So that's all you're going to get out of me for Wednesday, August 21st, 2013 at Casa de Meyer in Pahrump, Nevada. Bye.
Off.